the experience that you kind of went through was that maybe like you were denying a part of who you were,
Hmm.
in angelology, along with, being a medium. And so maybe it was related to the process and understanding of coming out as a queer person, because you had to probably come out to your family with all this stuff as well. And it probably
Yeah.
came with a lot of like fear, shame, like what are people going to think about me? Like, do you find that there's
Yeah.
a relationship between your experience coming out as a queer person as well as all your gifts that you have?
Yeah, very similar. A lot of stuff has resurfaced, not necessarily right away, but yeah, a lot of feelings of shame and guilt, and I was able to work through that as well, and realize that well, I guess I'm coming out again, first as queer and then spiritual. So yeah, it is like a coming out process. My family's always been really supportive of both of who I am, and I was really nervous though because I've written a book, and in the book it talks about I talk about my childhood and of course my family. So their first response was like, "Well, I hope you haven't written anything bad about me." And I'm like, well, "No," but of course I had to really talk to my family and let them know that it's something that was guided to me through my spiritual work. That got to start journaling. So I started journaling, and then the journaling turned into short stories. And
Welcome to the Queer Quest podcast, your beacon of light and sprinkle of glitter in the queer community. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for queer individuals. And together, we're embarking on a journey of transformation. Each week, we bring you a new training topic, all connected with visionary queer leaders in healing and coaching, diving deep into conversations that inspire growth, celebrate diversity, and empower you to live authentically. So wherever you are, settle in and let's get ready to unlock the vibrant potential within. This is where your quest begins. Hello, you fabulous souls, and welcome to this week's episode of the Queer Quest podcast. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, the CEO and founder of Queer Quest. And this week on the podcast, we have a very special guest here today, Mark Holton, who is a light leader and also a client of mine from 3 years ago. So I'm super excited to be catching up with Mark to see what's been going on in his life. Welcome to the podcast, Mark. How you doing?
good, thank you. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I'm
You're
doing well,
so
thank you.
Yeah, so welcome. So glad to have you. Do you want to start by giving the listeners an understanding? Because I said you're a light leader. What is a light leader?
Well, a light leader is very similar to a light worker. So I work with divine energy. I work with angels and elemental healing. So earth elements and elementals, so which mermaid energy, unicorns, and spirit animals. So I bring that into my work and into my meditations and my spiritual practices.
Lovely. And so let's break that down even a little bit more. So for someone out there who would have no idea what, earth energy or mermaid energies or spirit animals are, give us a bit of an understanding how you utilize these to support people in your work.
Well, I would have a conversation or have one-on-one with clients or people that are interested and kind of see where they are at in their life. There's different aspects that I could work through oracle card readings, meditation. I do intuitive readings as well, so I can do scanning of people through online or in person, and just really get a sense of what's happening in their life. Sometimes it's through their body, like certain parts of their body that might some of the energy is not really working for them. It could be anything relationship wise, job, career, but a lot of it is really intuitively guided. So a lot of different aspects will come in, angels, people from their past. So I really kind of bridge that together and kind of do like a life. um, broad kind of picture for them. Yeah, I'm also a medium, so if I have pictures or see pictures of people, I can get a sense of where stuff will come through. So really, a lot of it, some of it is based on conversation, but a lot of it is intuitively guided. So just whatever comes through me or channeled through me, and then I give that back to the person. If
Wow.
that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense to me, and I trust that the people out there listening to this can make sense of that as well. So
Mhm.
tell us, you're a medium, you're connected to spirits, you're connected to different elements in the world. Where do you find these gifts? How do they come to you? Tell us a bit of a journey backstory of like your experiences early on seeing these things, and then how that affected you as a young queer person.
Well, from a very early age, say around 5 to 7 years old, first started communicating and seeing, feeling angels. A lot of my friends, including my family, I would see their auras and their energy around them. So different colors of light, um, but didn't really think too much of it. At that time, it really kind of scared me a bit. I kind of pushed it away, but it always followed me regardless. Sometimes more intensity than other times, but always very joyful and peaceful. Usually, it's when crisis or chaos or um, so a lot of the times they would appear without me even asking for them or giving permission. So it's really helped me from a young age, and then I really started using my abilities and learning more. So I've been 7 years in angelology and just really studied different aspects of spirituality that have really helped me. And a lot of it has come quite naturally to me. So I really accepted that I had gifts. My grandma was very spiritual, but also was um, guided. So I guess it runs in our family. But everybody has the ability to speak to spirit and to really change your life. It's just getting over the different barriers around it, because some people, it's for some people it's really strange, and even I don't have a problem talking about it or even working with it. It's helped me so much. But some people really push away, and I guess that's part of the reason why it's taken me some time to really open as a and accepting as a profession. But it's helped me, um, definitely when I was coming out and as a queer person. It really um, heightens everything. Like it puts a lot of things in perspective when I look back. Um, yeah, it's been really beautiful experience for me, and I'm really proud that I'm able to help people around the world that are reaching out.
And in
Yeah, it's
need
been really
of that
good for
support.
me.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
And so it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, you can maybe confirm this or tell me a little bit more about, is that the experience that you kind of went through was that maybe like you were denying a part of who you were,
Mhm.
in angelology, along with, being a medium. And so maybe it was related to the process and understanding of coming out as a queer person, because you had to probably come out to your family with all this stuff as well. And it probably
Yeah.
came with a lot of like fear, shame, like what are people going to think about me? Like, do you find that there's
Yeah.
a relationship between your experience coming out as a queer person as well as all your gifts that you have?
Yeah, very similar. A lot of stuff has resurfaced, not necessarily right away, but yeah, a lot of feelings of shame and guilt, and I was able to work through that as well, and realize that, well, I guess I'm coming out again, first as queer and then spiritual. So yeah, it is like a coming out process. My family's always been really supportive of both of who I am, and And I was really nervous though, because I've written a book, and in the book it talks about I talk about my childhood and of course my family. So their first response was like, "Well, I hope you haven't written anything bad about me." And I'm like, "Well, no," but of course I had to really talk to my family and let them know that it's something that was guided to me through my spiritual work. That I got to start journaling. So I started journaling, and then the journaling turned into short stories, and ended up creating a book out of my different experiences growing up, and also my journey in healthcare as well. So
Because you
yeah,
also
it is.
you've been a nurse for a long time, and now you kind of work in hospice as the end of life, right? That's the other
Yeah,
part of what you
yeah.
do, yeah?
I work as a nurse aide, or care aide. I guess in Australia and UK they call it a carer. So um, yeah, I've done that for 15 years, and really that's when a lot of my spirit guides would speak to me, was through different experiences in healthcare profession. And yeah, it's really helped me develop my skills both professionally in healthcare and also professionally in my spiritual work. Yeah,
So it
and
kind of
even more
felt like
so in
they
hospice.
feel like they go hand in hand, and that you're kind of
Yeah.
doing the work that you're doing while you're being in hospice and supporting
Hmm.
these people at their end of life,
Hmm.
along with being able to, like I said, hone your skills and do it for your healing practice that you have, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's very rewarding. I really enjoy hospice as well. So yeah, it really ties in together, and um, yeah, it's been really rewarding. I've only been in hospice for a couple years now, so.
Good. Nice. I hear that. And I think there are so many people out there that I speak to in the queer community that get into healthcare and supporting other people. And I think, you know, as queer people, we've gone through periods of our life where we maybe feel like, we wish there were some people that could help us through what we were going through. So I
Mhm.
find that it's no wonder that there's a lot of people out there in our community who are so wanting to give back and help other people, because well, in whatever way that they choose to, because I think that there's this desire to support and help and really, be there for others.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been really rewarding for me, and I know it is rewarding for a lot of people.
Nice. So you've written a book.
Mhm.
Tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about this book that you have, and how it can support someone, like, and how would what would someone be looking for if they were to get this book and say, I'm picking up this book for the first time. What am I aiming to get from this book?
Well, the name of my book is Life Lessons: Inspiring Stories of Faith, Family, and Friendship. So in each chapter, I talk about all the different family experiences, life experiences, faith, and friendship. But in each chapter, I give examples of different life lessons that I've learned, and also different lessons that people, if they feel called to read the book, that they can take away from it, and they could apply into their own life. So yeah, everything from like breath work, meditation, to just how to communicate with divine energy, and how they can bring some of the practices into their life, if they are wanting to.
Okay,
So
nice.
that, yeah. So there's a takeaway from each chapter in the book, and it's a short story book, so it's an easy read, and I wanted to keep it really simple for my first book. So it's worked out quite well, and I'm really proud of it, and really happy with the end result. And
Good.
yeah,
I'm happy to hear that. You should be
thank you.
proud of that for sure. Now,
Thank you.
listeners out here might be going on and figuring, like, he's talking about connecting to divine energy. I'm trying to
Mhm.
connect to myself. I want to try to connect more to myself. I struggle. Like, I hear that all these people can be healers. They have spirit animals. They have all these different things, but I never ever get that stuff. how can you, like, what can you say to someone listening out there as some advice for someone who's really trying to maybe become more spiritual, or wants to connect more to this, or would love to be able to connect to their spirits, the spirit guides or medium or whatever it is? Give us like a little bit of what you think would be helpful for a listener out there in that position.
Well, a lot of it has to do with, well, some of it's self-awareness, which you learn anyways throughout life and in spiritual work. But a lot of it to start with is just being really gentle with yourself. How your ego and your inner voice speaks to you and how you respond, um, is really the first step. Because usually well, from my experiences too, when you're quite angry, or myself at times, um, it's the lowest form of energy really, is when your jealousy and anger really depletes you, like emotionally and any energy. So anything that's coming in that they still will come in and help you, of course, but just it's really learning how what energy works for you, and how to it's during the calmer moments, when you're really gentle with yourself and asking either meditation or prayer. If some people find meditation really hard to do, and even some people find praying is difficult, but just to really simplify it, to really start with um, a simple meditation. I do mirror work in the morning, and have a gratitude journal, and in the mirror is for me in the beginning it was really difficult, because you would say the gratitude to yourself in the mirror, saying I love you, you know Mark, I love you, I'm, whatever you're feeling, I know I'm loved, I feel loved, I'm happy, and a lot of emotion will come through that way. And there's just simple exercises. I talk about it in my book as an exercise, and you'll feel what comes through, and then starting to feel those emotions, and to feel the support and the love that comes through your meditation, or even speaking, is connecting to divine energy. For some people, it happens almost immediately. For me, it's through music and just being really quiet, either sitting in nature and doing a meditation. But music can connect me um, almost immediately. And it can be any type of music, but usually softer music or quieter music really helps me connect to all my senses, and to divine energy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it sounds like what you're saying is basically someone just needs to really find whatever it is that really quietens their mind, gets them into, I guess, a nice state. And
Hmm.
that's a great way for them to start to connect, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through prayer, whether that's through
Hmm.
mirror work, whether that's through listening to some music, going out in nature for a nice walk. Those kinds
Yeah.
of things are going to be helpful for people who are really trying to, firstly get in touch with their own spirituality, but then hopefully go on the journey of connecting to their spirit guides, or whatever they're
Yeah.
trying to connect to.
Yeah. And calling on them, reaching out to them through your meditation. The our angels and divine energy will help us if we give them permission. So during your meditation, if you allow them to help you, then they certainly will. So it's, first of all, recognizing what it feels, the feelings that you're feeling, and being open to saying, guardian angel, my guardian angel, I give you permission to help me or to guide me, and thank you. A lot of it really works with gratitude and being thankful, because that really heightens the energy. Is thank you, angels, for reminding me what I needed to know. And you'll get lessons and answers through your meditation. Like, you may not get it right away, but if you start journaling, or after that doing a meditation, like I said, being in nature is something that will come to you. So the answers, and they're always will help you if you give permission. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And so for people out there who've never meditated before, you'll
Mhm.
sound like someone who does it on a regular basis. Do
Mhm.
you have any tips and tricks for people out there who are trying to learn how to meditate? Maybe they want to give it a try, but maybe they've tried it in the past, and because I know a lot of people who go, oh, I've just tried it, and I go, how many times have you tried it? Once, it didn't work. So have you got some tips and tricks for someone who really wants to give it a go and really try to learn how to do it properly?
Yeah. For me, the meditations that don't have a lot of talking, although the ones that I've created, I have a little bit of both. Um, just because it gives you how to sit in stillness and quiet. So there's so many on YouTube or on Spotify or whatever music you connect with, um, that can be really helpful. Just something that has just music. I like to do the different frequencies as well, especially for sleeping and relaxing before bed. And you just listen to the different frequencies of sound, and a lot of the higher vibration and frequencies are what are related to divine energy as well. So that is something that's simple that you could listen to, where it's just different sounds. It's simple. It is getting you in a meditative state, which people could find or relate to, um, more relaxing, and then it really quiets your mind, and then moving on to like a guided meditation where
Nice.
there's someone speaking to you, and you're guided on like a story or a journey,
Yeah,
which
I find
is
that
very
for
helpful.
I
Yeah.
think I find for the newbies, what I would recommend is start with a guided meditation where you just
Mhm.
have to sit there and listen to what they're saying, because they usually can instruct you, and that's quite
Yeah.
helpful. And that's usually, I create a meditation weekly
Mhm.
for people to listen to on this podcast as a bonus, and also on YouTube. And I find that, like, for people who are new, it's a great way for them to just listen to someone else kind of guiding you on the journey that you're going on. And usually they're only around 10 minutes. And it just
Yeah.
makes you feel like, okay, this is simple, it's easy. I can find 10 minutes to do those things as well. So we're going to go off and take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a moment with Mark, and we'll continue this great conversation. In a world where every journey is unique, one path shines brightly for the queer community. Introducing QueerQuest, the first of its kind personal development platform designed exclusively for us, by us. At QueerQuest, we understand the multifaceted journey of queer identity. That's why we've created a space where you can explore, learn, and grow with the guidance of queer experts from around the globe. Whether you're seeking to enhance your physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being, QueerQuest is your gateway to transformation. Imagine embarking on quests tailored to your journey of self-discovery, finding community, and unlocking your queer excellence. QueerQuest offers online courses, coaching programs, and soon workshops, seminars, retreats, and festivals, all designed to empower you to live your best life. Ready to start your adventure? Join us at www.queerquest.vip to become part of a movement towards personal and collective greatness. Sign up today to join the waitlist and be the first to know when we launch. QueerQuest, where your journey of self-discovery and transformation begins. Don't just dream of a life filled with pride and purpose, make it your reality with QueerQuest. Visit www.queerquest.vip now. Your quest awaits. We are back with Mark Holton. And before the break, we were talking about meditations. And of course, look, we were sharing, probably some tips and tricks around meditation, so that, listeners out there who are trying it for the first time, really trying to maybe connect to their spirituality, connect to the spirit guides, try to maybe, like I said, start to really go on a deeper journey. Like I said, start with a guided meditation and then move your way up to like just sounds and frequency ones, because again, they're going to help you to raise your vibration, raise your state. And then that's probably when you're going to be in an area to start receiving some of the messages that maybe you've been asking to get some support on.
Yep. That's perfect. Exactly.
Good little summary there.
Yeah.
So I know, of course, being, your coach back in the day, that you obviously have gone through, a bit of a transformation. And I know that, you know, back then you weren't as ready as you are now to maybe start to take the next step in your life, in your career. So
Mhm.
I'd love for you to share with people, because there are so many people out there who probably have some sort of a gift, and maybe they're holding themselves back from doing something about it, out of fear, out of shame, out of whatever emotion that they're actually feeling. Do you want to share a bit about your journey of where you've come from to where you are now in relation to overcoming your own negative talk, your own self-doubt, your own fears?
Sure. Yeah, well, I used to always listen to the negative, like a lot. My inner ego can be
Inner
quite,
saboteur.
what's that?
The inner
Yeah,
saboteur,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. But I would always listen to that, and then that would follow me into um, friendships and just people that I hung around. So it was always what I would hear, because I guess some of the people that I would be hanging around weren't the best influence for me, but were very similar to the energy that I was putting out. Um, and often put me in different situations that were not the best for me. But at that point, I didn't really care. Like, my self-esteem was very low, and I didn't really care if people disrespected me. I let people kind of walk all over me in a sense, which is a horrible feeling.
Mm.
Um, but I learned to respect myself more and love myself. And when you start learning self-love, your whole outlook changes.
And how would you say
And
you went and learned that stuff? Because, how do you learn self-love? How did you do it specifically?
how I did it was removing the things in my life that were causing such chaos. People, um, places that I would go to, um, really
People, places,
things
and
that I
things.
didn't really gravitate to anymore, and just really let them go. So really letting go of the past. Just spending a lot of time by myself and in nature, and really kind of doing things that really invigorate me and things that I enjoy. Like, it could be simple things, didn't have to be elaborate or anything. And then once I got more comfortable being by myself, I was more comfortable being around people more. You know, the I didn't care what people would think, or I was always questioning in my mind what people thought of me or what people would think, as well as the negative self-talk. So it was really exhausting. So what once I made some changes, my energy changed. It wasn't so exhausting all the time, but being a light leader and energy worker or healer, I'm learning to really watch my energy, and not necessarily protect myself, but make sure that I'm not completely depleted, because that would happen all the time when I was around such negativity. Because she would be exhausted all the time. And in my work now, I have to be careful. I do a lot of energy clearing all the time, like daily, because with end of life, it takes a lot. There's a emotional aspect. It's the physical and emotional. So when you make connections with people and the guests that I care for, you're making those emotional connections. You're really getting to know them, and such, on a really spiritual, can be spiritual level. But you really get to know someone quite personally, because, well, it's very personal experience. Everyone's experience is different, but that can be really draining, especially for someone like me. So I have learned to really be careful and just clearing my energy. And that's easier to do once you are kind of more learning about yourself. You have to be open to kind of exploring how to better yourself, self-improvement. Like you talk a lot about that in your work as well with your coaching, and how to differentiate between that and how to get through limited beliefs what that can turn up anytime, really. um I've learned to be better at um not yeah better at being more supportive of myself and not relying on the inner voices that aren't helpful, and the limiting beliefs, which are really the beginning of can really drag you down too. And that's what's happened to me in the last couple years as well. Like, you get to a certain point, and everything's good, but you always sometimes think that, okay, now when is everything gonna crash and burn? Well, it doesn't have to be that way, but I'm learning to not allow that to really function in my life. So, and it's been hard, but I'm much better at dealing with those types of emotions, and feeling them and letting them out. If I need to cry, then cry. I mean, we cry quite often at work, but we also laugh, and there's lots of laughter and humor, and yeah, we're very close with my coworkers and stuff. So I'm really excited to hang up my scrubs, but I know that I can really feel it's a huge part of me that I would do it casually or as a volunteer um, position or volunteer experience. And yeah, I'm ready for the next level of helping people, but on a little bit different way, but not really. Helping people spiritually is something that I've always been doing for a long time, but didn't realize it till the last few years. So
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you say that even though you're moving away from and about to give up your scrubs at some point in the future, that you still
mhm,
want to be doing it because you feel like it's a part of who you are. It's a big part of your life. And of
yeah,
course, that means that you get so much out of giving and supporting people in their times of need, you know?
mhm. Yeah, definitely. It's been really rewarding.
Great. So I've got a curious question for you because, like I said, you've had these gifts for a long time. You know that you can connect more to your spirituality, your spirit guides, and you can to the divine energy. How come you haven't got to where you wanted to be sooner in life? If you were so able to connect to all of this stuff, right? Because, like I said, I'm sure there are people out there going, like, if you're so great and you can tap into all this stuff, how come you haven't got $1 billion? How come you haven't got XYZ? Tell people how it works in reality, because I'm sure there are some people out there thinking, like, if I can tap into that, I'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, well, it's almost like a superpower, I guess, in a sense. Um, well, for everyone has the ability to do that as well, like I mentioned. But it's been really difficult because a lot of the negative will try and pull you down. Like a lot of the negative and darkness, you have to be in darkness in order to get to light. And the light becomes stronger once you work through that. But I mean, it will always turn up. I mean, fear will resurface, but it's how you handle it. A lot of it is taking everything on because I feel emotions of people. So that's what light workers do, is they feel the emotions of people. Um, Even watching certain movies, like if there's a character in a movie where they are being made fun of or teased or ridiculed or hurt, I really feel that quite deeply. And so that's why there's a lot of shows I don't really watch a whole lot of TV anymore, just because it's really uncomfortable for me. But I mean, I'd feel that in everyday life. If I'm at a party or something, you walk in the room and you feel the energy of the room, which, people say, well, yeah, you would feel the energy of everything. Like it could be on the news, or I don't watch news really because of that. So a lot of it has been really hard because you have to navigate that in your life, and it's always been a blessing though. I've always looked at it as a blessing, whereas some people at that time haven't. But it is, and it's just really been difficult because of navigating that. You have to, I've had to really learn how to um, have my gifts in the world and to live my daily life. Some people, it becomes too much where they try and push it away, um, but it never goes away. It just usually will resurface in a more stronger way, because that once you're being guided of what your soul purpose is, uh, yeah, my knowledge, and um, I learn more because I'm here to help people or guide people, not necessarily help people, but guide people. And once you really come to terms with accepting who you are as a whole person, then a lot is cleared away where you can start living your life and start focusing on what you want to do, and not be so pulled down. Which that's why everyone has there's a point or a time, divine timing. If you've heard the saying, it is for a reason, because everyone's on a different journey and a different path. And a lot, if I compare myself to other people, which yeah, I've done before, that
We're human.
totally takes,
Everyone does.
yeah,
That's normal. Like
everyone does, yeah.
that's like, you know.
But that totally takes away everything that you're striving for and everything that you're working for. Um, so me, I've learned to just take little steps forward, and just to be doing things I enjoy and working a little bit towards, what I want to do professionally. And I've done that, and so many changes have come into my life that I would never think possible. When you talk about, um, well, money, or is how the energy around it, because it's also energy. You
Yeah.
have to love yourself, but you also have to be okay to love abundance and prosperity. And it's not always to do with the money aspect. It's once you love yourself and love what you're doing and love helping people, then so many things open up for you. And in spiritual energy, our angels and divine guidance, they want us to be abundant. They want us to have prosperity. They want to see us, be successful and have lots of prosperity, where we can give back to people, give back to community, but be able to really make a difference in your life and to help people. And not everyone does that. Everyone's different. Everyone's mindset's different, and some people are, it's not a bad thing to live. I try and live my life, um, really minimalist way, but also I don't feel bad if I want to go on a trip or something. Like a lot of it is getting over that negativity where I don't deserve that. Like a lot of that would come up for me, especially to do even changing my profession, and charging clients and things like that. Your self-worth is worth a lot, and
Yeah.
integrity, and yeah, once people work through that, then their whole outlook on abundance and money and things changes. So
I see. And
yeah.
it totally does. As you, like I said, as you evolve, as you work through your own things, again, you start to increase your self-worth, your
Mhm.
self-confidence. You start to see that you're having a positive impact in other people. You do start
Yeah.
to realize that, yes, this is valuable, and I need to raise things up in
Mhm.
order for me to feel that what I'm doing is of value as well, and that the people who are receiving it actually take it on as well. Because there's this thing as well of giving away what you do for free, a lot of people don't see it the same way as someone who would pay, good money for it, because the person who's paying the good money has invested their time and their energy into it, because literally money is energy. So they're more invested in it, and they're more likely to go and do the things and get the results from it because they've actually put that investment in. But again, if you go and start to do these readings for free, the people that take them for free are the people who probably, in most cases, will hear it, will walk off the next day, will not do anything that has come from it. And so they're not going to get any of the results. And I'm talking quite broadly, because they're not as invested in doing in it as well, because it was for free. The value of it is not, I didn't have to give you anything. None of my energy needed to be transferred into this experience. So for me, it's just it's a great piece of things to hear, but I'll go off in my own merry way as well.
Right. Yeah, you've described it perfectly. It's exactly right.
So there's going to be people out there who are saying, like, if I could hear all these great messages from my angels, what about some negative energy coming in and telling me what to do? Is there going to be times where I'm told to do something and it's from a negative space? What do you say to people out there who are thinking, those kinds of thoughts as well?
Well, a lot of that happens. I know just from working with different spiritual modalities that also some entities come into play that are not very nice. But a lot of that is Hollywood, though. I mean, nothing can harm you unless you allow them to. And in that regard, is meaning even if you do, they still won't physically harm you. But they can try and really stir things up, which I've had happen.
Influence you into doing things, which is, I guess, where I'm coming from is like, okay,
Yeah.
so if you can hear both sides of it, how can you then trust that what you're saying is the right thing for you to do? Like, you're getting some guidance. How would you then go, okay, look, I'm getting this. How do I know this is pure for me? And then if I don't do this, I'm going to be, something's going to happen wrong, like, because there are a lot of people who go through self-doubt, as you've shared in your journey. You've went through it as well. I think it's a human experience. What do you say to people there? How is someone going to know that this thing is actually coming from a pure place? My spirit animals are really guiding me down this path. I need to follow it. And it's going to be really good for me if I do.
They'll feel the difference. They'll feel obviously the negative from a darker energy, and what they're feeling when they're kind of lost or angry or jealousy or anything like that. So they'll know what that feels like. And then when they are channeling, or they are meditating or communicating with their spirit guides, they may not even know who their spirit guides are at that time, but they'll still come in regardless if you have met them yet or not. Just the feeling that you feel, like you feel a really strong sense of love. You can feel warmth on either like your arms or your shoulders, like you're standing in the sunshine, like you're standing on a beach with your back to the sun. That's one feeling, is that you suddenly have a sense of warmth come right over you. Almost that it's, you break out into a sweat almost, but it's like I guess when your people get flushed, or they're running or working out and you feel warm, it's kind of like that. And just what comes into your field of energy, like what comes into your mind and what you're feeling, you'll know right away. Like it's such a strong sense and feeling that you'll know, okay, my angels are communicating with me. Sometimes the sun will get brighter, which happens a lot for me, and I just step into the light and just feel the love, and it feels good, and the warmth, and I'll say a prayer, or just a hello even. But then I'll know who's communicating with me, either a grandmother or loved one, or someone, that quite often will be someone that I cared for in the past. which is really nice. And you'll know that will come up for you when you're in times of need or struggling or not feeling the greatest. That's how you know, is once you experience that for like the first time, you'll know all the time, like from then on forward, that you're communicating with and love energy or love beings of light, which are angels.
That are more pure, that are coming from a pure place.
Yeah, yeah. You'll feel it. Either you feel it, sometimes you'll hear it. Um, Sometimes you might smell, like often I sometimes will smell chocolate chip cookies all the time. So I know that my grandparents or my grandma, if I'm thinking of my grandma and can really smell that, I'm like, where's that coming from? Well, then I know that my grandma's in the room or thinking of me or is trying to communicate with me.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. So,
Mhm.
what would you say to someone out there? This is their first time hearing about this kind of thing. They want to go and connect. They want to try to do it. What would you say is the first step that someone should take towards it? Like I said, there's so many things that someone can do: meditation, breath work, all of these different things. What for someone who's really trying to first step into their first journey of spirituality? What would you say? What would you give as a piece of advice to someone who's coming to you saying, I want to tap in and see what this whole spirituality thing's all about?
Be open to it. Um, be wanting to learn. So there's many books out there, just on self-help books, but also spiritual, um, all kinds of things, which is good. And just that could be a start. To just start reading or listening to audiobooks. Um, just really being open to it. You have to kind of yeah, it takes a lot. For a lot of years, I pushed it away, even when I was all the way from 7 years old, all the way to my early 20s, like a long time. Um, it took me a long time to really accept who I am as a queer person, but also as a spiritual person. So just being open to learning and have if it all depends if you want to. Not if some people that they might be kind of curious just to see what it's all about, which is great. Other people, they may want to learn how to, how to channel their energy, how to, be a light worker or a light leader, and how to do that, which is just a process but it starts with really accepting and being open to learning and to allowing, loving yourself, like when people come out as queer or LGBTQ. um yeah, just being really
Be
open
open
to
to it.
learning new things. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Got one final question for you. So you like I said, you've come out of the closet as both a queer person and now as like I said, a light leader. You're really open with your gifts. How has that affected your life and your relationships as a queer person, finding love, friendships, etc.? Give people an understanding of what's like, yeah, what's your life like as a queer person and as a light leader as well.
It's been really rewarding because my friendships have changed. I mean, I still am friends with people that I grew up with, and living in a smaller community, I really got a chance to get to know people, and I'm just more people orientated. I mean, I do like to spend time myself, of course, but just more relaxed, more myself, and just that's really helped me quite a bit. I've learned that I gravitate to people that are similar to me, but also it's based on their energy, relationship wise. Yeah, it's in the past it's been difficult because I didn't care. I didn't have respect for myself, so didn't care if people were respectful to me, even in relationship. But relationship, that's really important. But people will learn that. Yeah, I have to be on the same energetic level. It doesn't mean necessarily education wise or anything. It's just how I feel around them and how they feel around me. And when it's a match, it's really incredible. It's really magical, and everyone feels that when you're with someone that you love. I know you feel that with your partner, and many people, not just queer people, but people in general, when they've met the one, and it's when you're really connected, mentally, physically, spiritually, like all the things that people need in their life, is yeah like you could finish each other's sentences like some people do, or you can sit in silence and just enjoy each other's company, and just be okay with yourself and with them. Like there's no judgment, there's no all the drama that comes with some relationships, I guess. I mean, it's as we grow older too, but energetically, it has to be someone that I'm in alignment with.
I see. Well, thanks for sharing that there with people as well.
Mhm.
So it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast today, Mark. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and your gifts with everyone out here. If
Thank
someone's
you.
curious about, what you do, or like, finding out more about this as well, is there a way that people can contact you? Have you got anything coming up that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, I will be launching my first course program online, and it's to do with spirit animals and animal communication. So I have that coming up. I also do one-on-one with clients, do mini angel oracle card readings. I can be contacted on Instagram. So my Instagram is Mark, MARK _ Holton _, and it will bring up information on how to book through me, or to contact me, and I can contact you directly through Instagram.
Beautiful. Oh, great. So Instagram is the place to go for Mark Holton if you're wanting to find out anything more about what he does. And I'm sure you share some cool stuff on there as well.
Yes, I do.
Great. Well, thank you again for coming on here. It's been a great episode. Everyone else, if you've got any questions, any feedback, any comments, you know how to reach out to me on social media, or you can comment below, depending on where you are listening to or watching this on. And I'll be back here next week with another episode of the Queer Quest podcast. Until then, always remember that you've got this and I've got you. Bye for now.
Are you ready to embark on a transformative journey towards love and happiness? Introducing the 21-day Gayman's Guide to Love and Happiness. This isn't just a course, it's a pathway to discovering your true self, overcoming challenges, and embracing happiness. Join hundreds of gay men who found joy and freedom. Learn from Cristiano Green, a coach with 20 years experience and a journey like yours. For a limited time, get this life-changing course at 75% off with a 100% risk-free guarantee. There's nothing to lose, but so much to gain. Your new life is just a click away. Enroll in the 21-day Gay Man's Guide to Love and Happiness today. Visit theglobalpridecollective.com and start your journey towards a happier, more fulfilled you.